Hello, friends. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the November 2020 energy forecast for life path number 22-4. That's master number 22-4. So, 22s. This month in November, it's a universal 6 energy month. And so basically what that means is collectively, we will be feeling the influence of the 6 energy. And really that's highlighting community, unity, love, family, health, service, and compassion. And so I feel like this month the spotlight will probably be on home, family, and community within the collective. And so you may see influences of that as well. And so one way to move through this energy, the 6 energy is very loving, very nurturing, very giving energy when it's in its highest expression. But when it's in an extreme, it can be almost suffocating in ways. And so it's really important to make sure that you set healthy boundaries, to say no when it feels like someone is impeding in your space, because it's not that they're doing that intentionally, but again, the 6 energy is one of almost like a mothering energy. And so at times it can feel a little bit overwhelming. So be mindful of the difference this month between being helpful and interference when it comes to others. So again, it comes back to those healthy boundaries. If somebody is trying to be helpful for you, but you haven't asked for that help, or you've refused that help, then at that point, if they continue to push, then they're, that's bordering on the line of interference. And so it's okay to say no to that. Also, you need to be respectful of other people's boundaries as well. And so in the highest expression of this 6 energy is it recognizes the sense of responsibility we all have for our own well-being as well as the well-being of others. So that's really where we get this sense of community coming in. Again, while maintaining that balance of, not interfering, but helping when others ask for it or when they are open to receiving it. Okay? So I broke down November into 4 weeks. I'll take a look at the energies, and I also pulled a animal spirit card to see what the overall energies for the month, specifically for 22-4s, will be. So we'll start with November each week. So the first week of November, we have this energy of you being in your heads way too much. And so there's really this call to be aware of the stories that you're creating within your own mind, and the worry or the fear that you're sort of escalating. But when you turn the light on to the actual circumstances, when you become present and you actually look at the situation that you're facing, it's almost like you're shining light on the reality of what you are facing so that you can overcome whatever that is. And a lot of times, the stories that we conjure up in our mind are much more terrifying than the actual reality that we're facing. Sometimes the reality is kind of terrifying as well, but in a lot of circumstances, the stories that we create or the fear or the worry that we subject ourselves to is much more intense than the actual reality of what we're facing. And so the call for this first week of November is just to become present and take notice of what is actually occurring. What are the hurdles or the challenges that you're actually facing? Because when you know what you're facing, then you can create the game plan to overcome those challenges, right? But you can't fight the fear or the worry within your mind because it's not real. It's an illusion, and it's a story that we create for ourselves. So there's no fighting that other than to calm the mind, and actually face what it is that we're facing in the 3D physical reality. And so take notice of what's keeping you up at night, what's constantly occupying your thoughts. If it is something that is creating a lot of stress or worry or fear for you, then that is the call for you to sit down and really write out what that fear is, what that worry is, what the reality is, and then tackle it from there. Okay, so however that comes in for you, but it's really about quieting the mind and looking at things for what they are. Okay. Then, as we move into the second week of November, we have this energy of gaining a new perspective or being open to receiving a new perspective. And so pay attention to the messages that come in from you, from other people, from what you hear, from what you see, that sort of thing, because it's kind of like once you, that first week of November, really sort of calm the mind and shift your focus onto what is actually occurring, then there's the potential to gain a new perspective on the situation that will help you in your movement forward. And so, again, pay attention to what comes in for you. Pay attention to your intuition. Pay attention to the downloads and the insights that come in from your higher consciousness. But then again, through, you may be listening to the radio and you may hear a song or something like that, that ignites some kind of feeling within you. And there may be a message associated with that, because our guides will reach out to us in any way that they can. So again, pay attention to that, because I feel like you've been searching for the answers, and it's almost like where you've kind of been searching in the dark. And so it's like all of a sudden you're going to have like an aha moment or new insight coming in that's actually going to be in a different direction than where you were looking before, right? And so it's kind of like, but you need to be open to that energy to come in to show you what it is that you need to see. So it's kind of this energy of try to have as much of an open mind as possible. And then as that information comes in for you, explore it, right? Don't necessarily just knock it down because it doesn't, because it defies logic or it's, outside the practical or whatever. So just be really open to that. So there's this energy of kind of finding your balance between your intuition and then also the physical and what, your intellect and the knowledge and the wisdom that comes in, okay? And being open to all of your senses. So as we move into the third week of November 22s, we have this energy of, it's interesting because it's also like this call to where at the beginning, okay, let me back up. Where at the beginning of the month, it was kind of like, get out of your head and the stories that you're creating and really hone in on what's actually happening in the physical, okay? So that you can kind of overcome that or move through that. But then as we move into the third week, it's kind of like the reverse. It's like, it's the energy is saying like, everything you see in the physical isn't the full story. And so you need to go within to tap into your intuition, to your inner wisdom. And so it's interesting. It's really, this month is going to be about finding the beautiful balance between what's occurring in the physical and what's occurring from within, and finding that balance as you gain new perspectives and as you move forward. Okay, so it's kind of hard to describe, but it's interesting because it's like I said, it's like you're just being asked to really not rely on one or the other, not rely on just what you're seeing in the physical to guide you, and not rely simply just on your inner knowing and intuition, but to marry the two. And so again, it's kind of like what I speak about in my book and throughout a lot of my teachings is we're meant to use the soul, the intuition as the compass, and the physical mind, the wisdom, or the knowledge, the intellect as the logistics. And so I really do feel like this is a very big theme for you guys this month, is use that intuition as your compass and allow it to communicate with the intellectual side of yourself to help move you forward, okay, to get you to where you want to go. Once you decide where it is you want to go based on your compass, then allow the resources, the external, the knowledge, the intellect to get you there. Okay, so it really is, it's interesting, the dynamics of this energy for 22s this month is very, very much about, if you find yourself in any extreme this month, when it comes to you're just too in your head or too in the ether, then you need to bring it back to the physical and see what you're actually facing. But if you're in the opposite of that and you are very in the physical, very in your mind and the intellect side of things, then you need to allow that feminine side of yourself, that intuition, to step up and to assist. And so again, it's finding that balance. And so the fourth week of November is this energy around content. So it's kind of like, it's almost like you're in this, this feeling of kind of push-pull throughout the month. It's interesting. This is very interesting energy for 22s. But it's like you're in this push-pull with yourself this month. And towards the end of the month, at the end, the last week, you find what you need for contentment, right? To feel that sense of completion, but joy, right? So it's very interesting. It's like, but you need to work with yourself to be able to get there. And so again, this month is just going to be this energy of really balancing those energies from within, because 4 energy, which is your life path number, 22 is the extension of that energy. You guys are the master builders, but that 4 energy is very much about finding the beautiful balance between the physical, the practical, the logic, and the heart center, the internal, the intuition, the divine feminine. And you're meant to marry the two and allow them to work in tandem. And that's not easy to do. But that's very much the backbone of 4 energy. So it's really interesting because this month, you guys, I haven't really seen this kind of push-pull in a while. And so it's like you've really got this chance to find your equilibrium and find your balance between the physical, external, and the internal world. And when you can do that, you're going to feel very good about that. You're going to feel very content with that. And that may sound like very abstract, or that, you're not seeing the physical validation or whatever, but that's okay, because I'll tell you, when you can find that balance, when you can find that equilibrium between the intellect, the logic, and the heart center, then you are winning. Then you have peace, you have harmony, you have joy, right? And even when there's chaos on the external. So not saying that it's going to necessarily be super easy to get there, but I can see where you guys are going to kind of be in this push-pull energy with yourself this month. And it's really what you do with that. And when it feels a little overwhelming, then that's your cue to pause, to take a break, to just chill and see what comes in for you, okay? And release control as much as you can, and allow those insights to come in, and then see it for what it is, and then you can decide how to move forward. So interesting how this may come in for you, and it can be physical, it can be spiritual, but honestly, this month for you all, it feels like both. It feels like you really are towing the line, and you need to find the balance between the two. So if that makes sense. So if you're a 22 who is very, very much into logic, the physical structure, intuition, or institutions, or laws, or whatever, then this is a call for you to balance it out with that heart center, the intuition, the cosmic center. So however that comes in for you, but it is about seeking balance for the 22-4s this month. So then I pulled a animal spirit card to get a general idea of the overall energy, and it's very, very interesting because it is spot on exactly the way the energies look for you all this month. You guys got chimpanzee spirit, and chimpanzee's message is, wait for it, use both your intuition and your intellect to solve the problem or get answers to your question. This is so poignant, so I'm going to read it again because it pretty much summarizes exactly the energies I'm seeing for you all this month. Use both your intuition and your intellect to solve the problem or get answers to your question. So again, y'all, it's about this finding this balance. If you are in one of the extremes, then that is your cue to incorporate the other side, right? The other polarity. So however that works for you, whatever works for you to be able to do that. But that is the call this month. And when you are in one extreme or the other, that's when you're going to see the challenges arrive. That's when you're going to see those obstacles occur, because that's the universe highlighting where there needs to be some adjustments to help move you back into your equilibrium, to help you move back into that center space where you have balance. So really, really interesting. Honestly, this is one of the more interesting reads I've done for November. So not bad energy, very positive, transformative energy. If anything, it's just the universe helping you to find your balance, helping you to find your own equilibrium, which is really, really beautiful. And it's one of the most powerful tools that you could possibly be given. So when you master it, then it's going to help you in spades as you move forward on your journey. Okay. So fantastic, 22s. If this, of course, was a general reading. So if you would like a personalized reading where we'll take a look at the very specific personal energies as they come in for you, I would love to do that. Just book some time with me in the description box below. Thank you all so much. Until we meet again, take care and bye for now.